Hello and welcome back to my newest video. Again, we are doing another installment of my top 10 videos for the end of the year. This one is going to be my top 10 albums of 2023. And while this year did not have nearly as many highlights as 2022 did, we still had some fantastic albums that came out. So despite what everyone is saying, no, music is not dead. And this year was still a great year for music. It just wasn't nearly as high as 2022. First off, we're going to start with some honorable mentions. We have And Then You Pray For Me from West Side Gun, Since I Have a Lover from Black, Austin from Post Malone, Business is Business from Young Thug, Ugly Duck from Hotel Ugly, Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty, I Thought It'd Be Different by Rory, Jackman from Jack Harlow, A Gift and a Curse from Gunna, Sunburn from Dominic Fike, Rocket Power from Quavo, Still Emo from Emotional Oranges, How Do You Sleep at Night from Tizo Touchdown, New Blue Sun from Andre 3000, and Conductor Machine from Conductor Williams and Conway the Machine. Alright, let's get into the actual top 10. At number 10, we have Quaranta from Danny Brown. So, of course, I know a lot of people have Scaring the Hose on their top 10 list. We'll get there. But Quaranta, I thought, was a fantastic listen. I was not expecting a solo Danny Brown album this year, as I don't think many people were, especially after Scaring the Hose came out with JPEG Mafia. But Quaranta sees him getting super introspective, and this is technically like a sequel to his first album, 30, or Triple X. And he's super introspective here, and he's in a much different place in his life, as you can hear musically, as well as vocally. This album, compared to much of his music, is much more accessible, I think. He is much more laid back. He's not having such eclectic and sporadic craziness all throughout, and it's not so fast-paced. You have a couple songs that are definitely in the Danny Brown style of rap, but for the most part, he is super laid-back, super introspective, and I think it makes for a great project. Is it perfect? No, but I think it is definitely one of the top ones to take out of this year. There is fantastic performances, amazing writing, some really good features. I think there's only 2 or 3 on here, but they all do really well. And yeah, he kept it fairly short, kept it tight, and I think he did really well on this, and I think it was massively overlooked just because Scaring the Hose was already so high on many people's end of the year lists. Number 9 is Lahai from Sampha. This one is only at number 9 because it came out so late in the year, and I waited to give it a listen. If it had come out earlier in the year, it probably could have made it into the top 5, honestly. It's just a fantastic project from Sampha. I wasn't a massive fan of his 2017 project Process, but I was absolutely blown away when I heard Lahai. I mean, I saw a lot of people talking about it and a lot of people praising it, and I was like, yeah, okay, but I know a lot of people really like Process, and it's not my biggest thing, and so I'm like, whatever, I'm sure it's good. I'll give it a listen. And immediately, as soon as I started listening to it, I was like, why did I put this off? Because it is fantastic, and I said in my top 10 songs video that I feel like this is almost like a new Blonde. And it, in that sense, it gives me so much comfort, and it's very relaxing. And even though much of this album is about falling in love or just being in love, that the relationship that you're in, while Blonde is about a breakup, I don't know, it just gives me the same comfort that Blonde does, and I think it'll age very well, and it's going to be I would like to imagine it's going to be praised in the same regards that a Blonde is. And yeah, it's fantastic, and I mean, it went massively under the radar. Sampha isn't the biggest artist in the world, but he deserves so much more. I highly recommend this out. And yeah, it's a fantastic project. Number 8 is Scaring the Hose by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. I know it's kind of crazy for all 15 people watching this, but yeah, a ton of people have Scaring the Hose as like their number one, number two, number three album of the year. And while I thought it was very impressive, I kind of thought that it fell off in the second half a little bit. While it still does have some great songs, I still thought that there were some songs where I was like, not fantastic. Um, I know JPEG Mafia is very much known for his crazy production, but I did think that there were some songs where the mixing wasn't totally great, and Danny Brown was very hard to hear. I mean, he already has such a high pitch, kind of shrieky, I guess, best way to describe it. His voice is, and I just think that there's some moments where it's really hard to hear, and I think it kind of takes away from it. Either way, massively, I still love the album, and actually, it was big in my rotation when it first came out, but actually over the past like month I've been listening to it heavy again. I mean, Garbage Pail Kids is so good. I know Perfect is a lot of people's top song of the year, and that's like massive for a lot of people. But yeah, I love Garbage Pail Kids and so many other tracks. But yeah, great album. I mean, it was, I think, a collab that a lot of people wanted to see. Was, when JPEG Mafia was first starting music, people were like, oh, he's like the new Danny Brown. Lo and behold, he shows that he can be right alongside with him, and their dynamic that they had together is fantastic. Number 7 is going to be Hotel 1105 from D2X. Up and coming Chicago rapper D2X. He released his first album, The Color Blue, I believe it was 2 years ago in 2021, and I was a little late to the game with that one. I listened to that in 2022, and I was absolutely blown away. His storytelling, his production, the artwork for his albums, I mean, everything he does is on 10, and you can just tell that he puts his all into his music, and it's very inspiring. I think if you are a smaller artist coming up right now, look at this guy and see what he's doing, because he is doing everything right. And it's really hard for me to actually choose which album I prefer more, The Color Blue or Hotel 1105, because both of them are so fantastic, and they both have, I mean, just amazing instrumentation. And I'm not sure exactly, I of course didn't look at the credits before making this video, but just the production on this one is much more, I don't know, I wouldn't say more summery, because The Color Blue is super jazz influenced, and while this one is too, it's in a very different sense. This one, if you just look at the artwork, which you can see, I am going to be uploading soon in my top 10 artworks of the year. It's obviously supposed to be very summer-esque, and it's, him and his wife on a beach, with the hotel in the background. And so, I mean, it just fits the vibe so well. His storytelling is so great, and he gets super personal. I don't want to, give away what it is, because I think that even if you aren't a rap fan, like rap's not your biggest thing, I would still highly recommend this. I don't want to give away what the album is or like what the songs mean, but it's just absolutely fantastic. So many good tracks. Yes, please check this out. He deserves all the support, and I cannot wait to see what comes from him in the future. Even if he takes a couple years, I know it's harder for smaller artists, but with him taking like 2 years, I mean, it was totally worth it. You can see that he is really putting 2 years into crafting his project. I mean, he's putting his all, and I cannot give him enough love. I can thank the NFR podcast for putting me onto him, because they praised him, and so I was like, oh, okay, these guys, I listen to a lot of music that they do, and so great find from them. So yes, check that out. Hotel 1105 at number 7. Number 6 is going to be Decent from Toby Lou. I guess I don't know if it's Decent or Descent. Descent is spelled different, I believe. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Decent. It's Decent from Toby Lou. This album, it's decent. No, it's great. Toby Lou, coming in, and I was very surprised to like this album as much as I did. I have liked Toby Lou now for a couple years, and I've been listening to him. Thanks to one of my friends putting me onto him. But I wasn't like the biggest fan of him. But when this came out, I was kind of floored. I was like, wow, I am absolutely loving everything that I hear. Every feature I think does super well. You have people from the likes of Dame Dalla to Chief Keef to Saba to Polo G. It's great. I mean, it is really good. I think that he has production that is really well. I should say this isn't just Toby Lou. It is technically a collab album between him and I don't know if it's Farada or Farida. Yeah. Smaller producer, but yes, it is their collab album, and the production is great on this. Everything is really good. There isn't like maybe like a through line as much as there is for other albums like Quanta or Hotel 1105. But yes, fantastic album. And it is just super well done. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. So yes, decent at number 6. Number 5 is Michael from Killer Mike. Again, an album I was not expecting to love as much as I did. After I think it's like 11 years or something since his last solo album, Killer Mike came out with this absolutely great project. He came out swinging after doing the 4 Run the Jewels albums, which I'm a huge fan of. That is my first way I was introduced to him, besides his song that he was on with Outkast, yada yada, of course, that most people who know him know that that's where he got his like real big rise to fame. But yeah, I've been a big fan of Run the Jewels and those 4 albums, and so when I first saw that this was coming out, I was super excited. The features are absolutely stacked. I mean, he got so many great artists to appear. I mean, he has Andre 3000 and CeeLo Green and Future and Aaron Allen Kane and Young Thug, and everybody does so well on this project. I love how introspective it is, and his fusion of hip hop with soul and funk and R&B and gospel even at certain points. It's fantastic. I did put it in my honorable mentions, but Slumber has to be probably my favorite track from this project. It is a very serious song, and I know that some people, the subject matter is probably very sensitive, but it's so damn good, and it's a fantastic project. And I don't know if the Grammys happened as of recording this. Yeah, I assume by the time this came out, the Grammys will have happened. But as of recording this, I know it's nominated several times. He's got Scientists and Engineers with Future, Andre 3000, and Aaron Allen Kane is nominated, and the album as a whole is nominated several times. I hope it wins. It deserves to win. As much as I love Utopia, I think that this probably is more deserving. It's so good. Great album. Highly recommend it. Number 4, 10,000 Gex from 100 Gex. I was very surprised to love this album as much as I do. I was a fairly decent fan of their first project. I didn't love it. I'd say like I really like about half of it, and the other half I'm kind of like, like whatever. Which I know is crazy to a lot of people, because some people like hold their first project in such high regards. But I just couldn't stop listening to this project. I mean, when people thought that like hyperpop was dead, 10,000 Gex came out, and it just showed that 100 Gex can still take this genre and flip it on its head and do something that no one expects to, and it shows why they are the best in this genre. I mean, I feel like there's no competition. There's no one else who is doing what they're doing and doing it like they are doing it. Obviously, Dumbest Girl Alive was in my top 10 songs of the year, and yeah, this whole project is just fantastic. There's really only one song I'm not really a big fan of, and that is Billy Knows Jamie, and it's more so just the outro I'm not a huge fan of. But either way, that's not what we're going to get into. Yeah, fantastic project from front to back. I love the humor that they put within their songs and mix along really well with their vocals. Really like how they did their vocals on this. On their first album, they were tuned much more and their voices were changed a bunch, but I like them using their natural voices a lot more on this. I think it was super well fitting, and it shows, I think, that they're probably getting a lot more comfortable with themselves artistically, so I like to see that. I hope they don't completely ditch the vocal tuning, of course. I think it has its moments where it's placed really well and it actually adds something to the songs that it's on. But yeah, either way, their production is absolutely nuts. It's all over the place. Fantastic. You literally, if you have never listened to this, you will not know what's coming next from any single song. I mean, straight off the bat, Dumbest Girl Alive, just, when you hear the intro, which is literally the THX intro, like the old school movie intros, from that being the intro to then when the actual beat comes in, I mean, you never know what's coming next, and that's what I absolutely love about this project. So yeah, highly recommend it. 10,000 Gex from 100 Gex at number 4. Number 3 is going to be Generational Curse by Ice Cold Bishop. If you watch my review of this, I love this project. It is super well done, and from storytelling to the vocals to the production, this, again, it's just a great rap project. Ice Cold Bishop is someone who I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did, but just as the year has gone on and on, I just can't stop listening to this project. I think I absolutely did not get the love that it deserves, and it's really a shame to see how many people, even in the hip hop community across all social medias, are leaving this out of their list, because I know a lot of people just didn't listen to it. It's fantastic though. Go watch my review for more in-depth explanation. But yeah, great project and deserves so much more praise. I cannot wait to see what Ice Cold Bishop has to come. Already he's been doing a couple features this year, so great stuff. Highly recommend it. Number 2, Utopia from Travis Scott. No surprise that this is at number 2. I loved this project. I still do. I think I gave it like a 91%. I would maybe take it down a couple numbers, honestly. I still love this project. It's still super fun, great. I think that it is, I would say, pretty much everything I was hoping for when Travis Scott came back from his, 5 years since Astroworld, or his 4 years since the Jack Boys project came out. But yeah, great project. I mean, again, I did a review for this. So if you want like in-depth on that, go to that video. But yeah, great project, fantastic production. His vocals are crisp on this. I mean, yeah, just a great project. I mean, of course, it's mainstream, but I feel like for the most part, you can't deny how grand this project is. There really is nothing else that sounds like this that came out this year. So yeah, highly recommend it. Check it out. Utopia, Travis Scott. Number 1, of course, if you have watched my videos this year, number 1 is Never Enough by Daniel Caesar. Just like 100 Gex, I wasn't the biggest fan of Daniel Caesar. I liked his previous projects, but wasn't in love with him. I know a lot of people really like, him, and he's got like a diehard fan base. But, I like his stuff. It's good. It's great R&B music, but overall wasn't someone who I revisited a ton. I think Case Study 1 was probably my favorite project from him before this. But even then, I still think it had some flaws, and it wasn't something I revisited all that much. But man, when Never Enough came out, it just had me in a hold. And it's still, I mean, I will listen to it front to back continuously. And I think that it's going to be an album I take with me, for a long time. It's one that I am just still not getting sick of. I can listen to any song on this and just absolutely fall in love with it. And yeah, highly recommend it. Again, I did a review on it, so check that out. But yeah, great R&B project. The vocals, the instrumentation, it's all great. The features, the features on this project are so good. Recently, I know I put Always in my top 10 songs of the year, but recently I've been listening to Disillusioned a lot with Serpent with Feet. So good. So good. I mean, the project is just great. As of why I gave it a 96%. No perfect. I would say that there was no perfect albums that came out this year. Maybe a hot take. I know some people would say, like, oh, Utopia, or maybe even some people would say Never Enough. But yeah, this is like the closest thing to like a perfect album that came out this year. So good. I mean, it's just one that really took me by surprise with how much I fell in love with it. And I cannot recommend it enough, and it's so good. So good. But yeah, that's my top 10 albums of the year. Please check all of them out. I know 10 is a lot to recommend, and these are, I mean, they're mostly rap, but they're different, very different styles of rap. Each one of them very, very different. But yeah, highly recommend checking all of them out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Check out my Instagram and TikTok for my daily song suggestion series. Check out the video before this for my top 10 songs of 2023, and then check out my next video, which is going to be top 10 artworks or top 10 album covers of 2023. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Subscribe to see more. Bye now.